Hey there, good morning. This is Dawn Clavasol, founder of Stress Free Bookkeeping, which is a subset of my company, Stress Free Tax Season. So I don't do taxes. I help business owners have a stress-free tax season because we work monthly or weekly in their books. And by the time tax season comes around, we just have a bunch of questions to answer, make sure we wrap everything up and we're good to go. You're not showing up with a box of paperwork, or you're not confused not knowing if you've recorded everything in your book. So that's me. That's what I do. I'm also a certified Profit First professional, and I'm here today to talk to you about your income accounts. So I think I'll give it a couple minutes, see if anyone, I should cut like 30 seconds or something, see if anyone logs in to join us today. You can also watch on the replay and comment on the replay, and I will see that and be able to comment back to you. That is one of your options. So I've been reading to you guys for the past few weeks. I'm not going to do that today because I wanted to dive a little bit more into content now that tax season for me is winding down a bit, and I have a little bit more free time to do a little bit deeper discussion with you guys. So, income account. So your income account is one of the first accounts that you're going to set up with Profit First. Even if you're not following Profit First, you should have your income coming into just one account. It makes it easier for you to see, hey, that money is just money that I haven't assigned a purpose to yet. So that's really important. You know, if there's money sitting in the income account that you haven't done your distributions, you haven't done anything with it. So if you're following Profit First and using the cash management system, that is it going to sit there for whatever time frame you've decided works for your business. So Mike talks about the 10th and the 25th. Sometimes weekly works better for you. I know when I was first starting out with Profit First, it made a lot more sense to me to do it every time I had deposits come in, because I charge most of my clients at the beginning of the month. So usually they're coming in batches anyway. So once the money would come in, I would like to distribute that out. One of the really great things about starting this kind of cash management system in your business is that it almost instantly gives you insight into your business that you didn't have before. So I've been in business for over 10 years doing bookkeeping for myself, for other people. And what I've discovered is just starting to do allocations in my business, I realized, wow, I thought, I'm taking money out that I need, right? So the money would come in. I would look at the balance, my bank balance, and say, oh, okay, I need this much of that money. And then I would put it into my account for my personal stuff. What I discovered when I ran through my actual numbers in Profit First was that I was making some big mistakes, because by doing that, I wasn't actually basing it off of the money that was coming in. It was more the money that was in the account. So sometimes, you have months where you're not spending as much, so you're having money build up in there. And so I found that I was overdrawing money out of the company. And so when I was frustrated about my business, about, oh, I can't advertise or I can't do this, it was because I wasn't leaving enough money in the business itself to let the business run. So now that I'm doing Profit First, I've got profits, I've got owner's pay, I've got the tax account, and I have the money to run my business. And if you've read the book, if you've listened to any of the other discussions that we've been having about this, what's great about that is now I know exactly how much expense money I have. And I know that I need to make more money. When there's just a certain amount in there and you're just covering your basics, and you want to do more with your business, then okay, what else, where can I innovate? What else can I do? You've already cut back enough so that your expenses are lower. What can you do? So back to the income account. So the income account, you're going to probably, if you've been in business a while, you're already going to have deposits coming in there. If you have your merchant account set up to that account, I would recommend leaving whatever your main bank account was originally as the income account and just opening up a new expense account. Either way, you're going to have a little bit of transition there at the beginning. You're either going to have to tell the credit card processing company you have the new bank information, or you're going to have to go to all of the cards that are on your that are already auto debiting and let them know that you have a new account number and stuff. So it kind of depends on you. I just left it because it was just easier to have it come out of that one account. But if you have a lot of automatic withdrawals coming out, you may want to leave that as an expense account and then open the new account. When you open your income account, you don't need checks and you do not need a debit card for this account. And the reason is you're just using that as your main platter, your holding plate for your other funds. You're going to be putting that money into your operating expense account where you're going to be paying your bills from. So you do not need checks. You don't need debit cards for that account. So once the money's all in there and it's allocation day, it's time to give yourself the money. What do? Okay, there's two different things I want you to think about. So we have something called top line revenue, and then we have your real revenue. When we are creating a distribution, we are using the real revenue number. Now that is not the same as your net income on your balance sheet. On your profit and loss statement. So when you have your profit and loss statement for your business, right, you have your income that came in, and then you'll have cost of goods sold, and then you'll have the next number, which is your net sales. That's not the number that we're going to use, because some of the things that are in your cost of goods sold account might be operating expenses. So we don't want to include those. So with Profit First, what you're going to do is you're going to take your gross income. In this case, the money, when the money came into the bank, you're going to already have figured this out. But I wanted to talk to you about it because I noticed in the group and in talking to people, a lot of people kind of just jumped in to the target allocation percentages instead of setting something up based on their own business and their own actual current numbers, which is vital if you're going to be successful with this kind of cash management system. You really, really need to do the evaluation, go through, and it really doesn't take that long. I created a course for it for you. If you're interested, you can set up a discovery call. But the reason I did that is just find in my own business, if it's something that's outside of my general knowledge base, it's really a pain in the neck to have to learn it all in order to implement it. So you need some hand holding implementing it. So you already should have figured out these percentages, but I just wanted to mention that you want to use your real revenue number. And what is that? So it's your top line revenue. So the amount that you make, it's going to be subtracting the parts and materials that you're purchasing and any of your subcontractors, right? So those are people that are not on your payroll. Anybody who are crucial to you making that money. So one of the prime examples that we give is the real estate industry. If you're a $5 million company for your real estate company, but 4 million of that is paid out directly to your sales agents, then you're really a $1 million company, and you want to use that $1 million number to create your percentages, right? Okay, so that would be your real revenue. So top line revenue in this case would be 5 million. Real revenue would be 1 million. So I want you to take that into consideration. The other thing is, and this one was really hard as an accountant to wrap my mind around, but when we talk about your materials and subs, we're not talking about cost of goods sold. Again, we're not using that cost of goods sold section on your profit and loss statement at all. You're not using cost because we're talking about cash, right? So if you're used to doing books and things, it can get a little confusing. So we were talking about your cash only. So any of your cash purchases, if your cash purchases and your mats and subs are over 25% of your top line revenue, then you want to deduct them before you do your real revenue number. If they're not, if they're lower and they vary and it's going to be less than that 25% number, you can use your top line revenue as your real revenue. So some of you will have a deduction from top line revenue to come up with a different number for real revenue, but some of you won't. Some of you, it'll be exactly the same. In my business, it's exactly the same. I think I just have one more point to talk to you guys with. So with the allocations on allocation day, you will move all of the money that is in your income account. All of that money is going to come out and it's going to go into the 4 other accounts that you set up. And we're going to talk about each of those weekly. But I just wanted you to kind of have a summary, just pull out what the income account is for, what it's doing, and hopefully I answered any questions you had. If you are watching the replay, please go ahead and ask anything that comes up. You might have something that's specific to your business. That's the beauty of Profit First, is that we want to tailor this completely to you. So if you haven't even done that, I can tell you it's chapter 4 and chapter 5 that you really want to focus on. And it seems cumbersome because the way that it's laid out, but just read through it. It's really just filling in the chart, the blank chart that's in the book. So you're just going to fill in that blank chart with your numbers, with the guidance there. To come up with those. So if you have any questions, please ask in the group. If you are on my Facebook page for the business and you would like to be in the group, the name of the group is Profit First Business Owners, and we would love to have you. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And like I said, if you have any questions, let me know.